Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. It's Mr. Shakespeare here on the 1st of November, 2023. I'm joined by Psychic Medium and remote viewer, Liz Pross. How are you doing today, Liz?
Hungover from all the trick-or-treating, but doing well. Doing well. It's cold. It was cold last night and it's cold this morning.
Candy overload. Right. Okay. Recently, there was a fire at Luton Airport in the car park, one of the car parks there. And there's been all sorts of speculation going around. There's lots of rumors of cover-ups and all sorts of things. Apparently, the latest thing was that a guy drove into the car park with smoke coming out of it, and then he basically ran into the terminal and said, "Look, I'm late for my flight, but my car is smoking. Can you deal with it?" And he just left it there. Now, we don't know whether this was a diesel car, whether this is a hybrid car, hybrid being petrol and EVs, electric vehicles, or gasoline or whatever. So, but there's lots and lots of cover up. They're definitely not telling the truth about this one. Most people think that it was an electric car that caused the fire, and there were obviously other electric cars in the car park there, because this whole thing burnt down very bad, and we've seen some of the videos. But Liz, let's have a contact with Luton Airport car park, please.
Yeah, did it burn the entire area of the car park?
It burnt the whole car park, yeah.
I did not know that.
There's about 1,200. There's about 1,200 cars that have been wrecked.
No.
Oh yeah, it's huge. Yeah.
Oh wow. I wonder who has to pay for that, Luton or the individual car insurance?
Well, a lot of the car insurances are trying to get out of paying it by saying that the owners, it was their fault because they left the car there. So anyway, that's a different probe. We were trying to get to the bottom of what this fire was. Was it started by an EV, electric vehicle? Was it started by a gasoline vehicle? Or was it started by a diesel vehicle? Because it can only be one of the three.
Okay. I've got that area of the car park as an entity.
Okay. How did the fire start?
How did the fire start? It was definitely a car.
Yep, we know that. Yep.
Okay.
There's only cars in that car park. There's no commercial vehicles in there. It's not big enough.
Okay. Was it an electric car? It was a hybrid.
It was a hybrid.
It was a hybrid. Yes.
So did it start on, and was the hybrid a petrol electric hybrid or a diesel electric hybrid?
Is it a petrol or a diesel electric hybrid? It's diesel.
Right. Was the car that started the fire a Range Rover?
Was the car that started the fire a Range Rover? No.
It wasn't a Land Rover or a Range Rover product, no?
Was it a Land Rover? I feel like it was a Land Rover.
Okay. Well, Land Rovers make Range Rovers. It's just one of their sub brands, but okay.
Well, it has to be watertight when you're asking these questions.
Okay, but it was a Land Rover product.
Yes.
And it was a diesel hybrid.
Was it a diesel hybrid or was it a petrol hybrid? I don't know. To be fair, I don't know, because I did get a yes on diesel, but then when I asked petrol, I got yes. So I'm not sure about that part of the.
But it was definitely a hybrid. So there was hybrid means there's a gasoline or diesel engine coupled to an electric battery and electric motor.
Right. Yes.
So did the fire start in the gasoline or petrol side of the car, or did it start in the EV side, in the electrical side of the car? In other words, the lithium battery or the motors or something like that.
Did it start in the gasoline sign? No, it was the battery.
So it was the EV side of it.
Yes, it was.
Right. Okay. Well, that's what most people believe. And the reason why most people believe that is because they are they're covering it up and they're saying it's a vehicle fault. And so this man in his 30s that apparently has been arrested on suspicion of criminal damage, has he got anything to do with this?
Was he was arrested on criminal damage. Does he have anything to do with this? Yes, he does.
Was it his vehicle?
Was it his vehicle? Yes, I do believe it was.
Did he leave the vehicle unattended whilst there were smoke or flames coming out of it?
Yes, he did. He saw that something wasn't right. He smelled something. He did. I feel what I'm getting is that he put it down to, maybe it's just, see, he was thinking in terms of like old school thinking, right? So, when there's a bit of oil on the engine,
Yeah.
and the oil can burn, or
Yeah.
that's what he was thinking. He thought maybe it had overheated, and he was thinking, oh well, it's okay, I'll check it when I come back. Did not know that the car was on fire. He just thought, oh, there's a little bit of smoke.
Right.
Are you and I feel like he's a bit of a car person as well. So with people that are car, you're a car person, Mr. Shakespeare, you would understand this. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's very typical to see a bit of whatever, coming out. He has had problems with this vehicle from the get-go. This vehicle has caused him many, many issues. He's always had to, have it looked at. He's looked at it on his own. So this was no big deal to him because he'd had so many issues with the car. He never actually thought that the car would go up in flames.
How old is this vehicle?
How old is this vehicle? Is it new? I don't feel like it's really new, like brand new.
2 years, 3 years, 5 years
Yeah,
old?
maybe a 3. Is it 3 years old? About 3 to 4. Yeah,
And how long has he owned it?
about a year.
Right.
But
Okay.
he's had nothing but problems with this vehicle. And he's gone back to the dealership. He's, and of course, at the dealership, they just fob him off as well. Oh, well, it's just this little thing. Oh, well, it's just that little thing. But this is a problem that is going on with this type of vehicle. I can see that there's a big fault there. And of course, these vehicles are extremely expensive. And
So
they've already
driving,
spent the money on sales.
yeah, what was the purpose of his journey? Was he catching a plane? Was he going on a flight?
Where you catch it? Yeah, he had to go on a flight. Yes.
Okay. Right, hold him there for a minute and let's just look at the entity of the airport. Now, if that was a fire on its lithium battery side, then we know in an enclosed space that will then start igniting other cars. But, so this one, I mean, this was a complete catastrophic blaze to the point where the whole car park now has to be pulled down. It's not safe. So why did the fire spread so quickly?
Why did the fire spread so quickly? Because they were ill-equipped to handle this magnitude of fire.
Right. Even
There,
though that everybody has to park their car in this car park.
there's no sprinkler systems. There's no, you know what I mean? That this brings about a whole nother issue, because where we are forced to park in car parks, right? Now, these car parks have got to be equipped with dealing this type of fire. This type of fire is not like a regular petrol fire. This type of fire will not be put out through water. Is what I'm getting, which is, I think you've said that previously anyway. So therefore, they're ill-equipped. They're ill-equipped to deal with it, and they didn't know what to do. So by the time somebody turned up to really deal with this fire, they just couldn't put it out
Right.
because
Yeah.
other EV vehicles caught on fire.
Right. Can we grab this guy, Andy Hopkinson, on your screen?
Okay.
He's the Chief Fire Officer of Bedfordshire, which is where Luton is in.
Okay.
He was very non-committal when he was speaking to the press about this. He was, it was normally these people say what the cause is, they know. He said he's quoted here as saying he thought the fire started in a diesel-powered car. Does he now know? Does he know that it was a hybrid car?
Yes, absolutely. He hates hybrid cars.
So why did he call it a diesel-powered and not a hybrid car?
Why did you call it a diesel powered and not a hybrid car? Because it's still under investigation. They don't want to say that this is an EV car.
I know.
They don't want to say it. Why? Let me ask him. Why don't you want to say it? Because it's catastrophic. That means the EV market will collapse. People are now being forced into, they've just got people forced into buying these cars. There's the ULEZ thing that's going on in London and Greater London, and now other cities are adopting that. So they're really just started to convert the mindset of people. And the last thing they want to do is to scare the hell out of everyone by saying, well, actually, potentially these things are death traps. And the thing that he's just given to me is if you park one of these vehicles near to your house and the vehicle catches fire, most likely your house will catch fire as well while you're all asleep at night and people are sleeping on the inside. And it's just, he believes that this is just a disaster waiting to happen. But he can't say that.
Was he told not to say that?
Were you told not to say that? In roundabout terms, yes. It was be very cautious about what you say. But also, if they did say this, the EV industry could then try to sue the government or the fire industry or whoever for defamation. So that's what they're scared of ultimately is the legal repercussions if they did just come out and call them out.
The fire industry is all government anyway, so
Right.
I don't see how. But I mean, why, if he's saying it's a diesel-powered car, why doesn't the diesel industry, which is the oil industry, sue him for defamation? I mean, fires start and fire departments know, they know how these things start when they investigate. When the and what he was saying about EV cars burning houses. Oh yeah, there's been quite a few, and that you
have there?
Oh yeah, quite a few. Yeah, already. You can find those on YouTube and things. They're not covered by the mainstream news. The only reason mainstream news covered this one because it was so big they couldn't ignore it. But there's been quite a few that have happened. Cars that have EV, pure electric vehicles that have caught fire and burnt houses down because the lithium burns with such intensity, and you can't put it out. I mean, they've got to. I mean, I've seen on YouTube how they in some fire departments in America where they have to bring along basically a container, and they have to lift the burning. They've shown this with a Tesla actually. They have to lift it up and put it into this container, and then of course, obviously, the poison, all the stuff that comes out of the cars and everything has then contaminated the container and the water and the stuff in there. I mean, people are not, they're not being told all of this, so. And no, it's no wonder it's no wonder he's been told not to. I mean, most people don't believe, the official narrative of anything nowadays. So, there's too many independent people. There's quite a few people that were around on that day when it happened and took videos, and that you don't see on the mainstream news. And I've seen a couple of them, and the flames definitely look like an EV fire. They definitely look like lithium batteries burning, which is not good.
Well, I got that this guy will be charged.
Oh, I'm sure he will be, because they need a scapegoat, don't they? But hopefully in court he'll be able to, have his day and say it was a hybrid car and it was the battery side of it that went. And if he doesn't, he'll need to get some expert witnesses, because otherwise he'll be carrying the can for this. How? I mean, if he turned up, what was he supposed to do? I suppose they would argue he was supposed to drive out again. I don't know. What was he supposed to do? If he thought really that it was just a bit of oil, on a hot exhaust or the manifold burning or something, smoking away, then okay. But it's unlikely with a car that's like, if it was 20 years old, I'd say yes. But if it was only a few years old, 2, 3, 4, 5 years old, unlikely. But, the minute you said it was hybrid, then that confirms just about everything that the internet thinks about this, I can tell you. It was the hybrid side of it that's probably caused the problem.
Interesting. And how they're trying to pin it on one person. I mean, me personally, if I pull into an airport car park, I got a plane to catch. I don't know anything about cars. Oh, I see maybe my car is smoking. It smells a little funny, whatever. The car's off now. I mean, normal people wouldn't think that your battery is going to go up in flames, right? You just think, well, the car's off, so it's not.
Don't forget though, Liz, the battery, the 12-volt systems on cars, the batteries are lead acid. They're not lithium. Lead batteries don't do what lithium batteries do. We've had warnings of this for years. Mobile phone batteries have exploded. They're all lithium. They get super hot and they just explode for no reason. I mean, the battery technology in phones over many, many years has got to the point where you don't hear as much about that anymore. But, you still get the odd one, I think. Lithium batteries, they're dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but me as a car driver, I wouldn't have thought anything about a little bit of smoke or whatever coming out. I would think, well, the car's off now.
Yeah. Well, most people would. But maybe he did think it was that. Well, that's what your probe has said. So okay. I mean,
he didn't think the car was on fire. And
no,
again, the back history is he had so many problems with this vehicle. It was one thing after another.
Let's ask him this question. Did he buy the car from a dealer or not?
Did you buy the car from a dealer? No.
He bought it privately.
Did you buy it? Yes, he bought it privately. Little did he know they were trying to offload this lemon of a vehicle.
Right. Well, there's always a risk there when you buy private. Well, there's a risk when you buy dealers, but at least you've got some comeback sometime. I mean, it depends. I mean, if he's owned it 2 or 3 years, unless you buy brand new in manufacturer's warranty, you're not going to,
That's true. That's true.
I bought a car. Guaranteed forever. So
I bought a car from a dealership, and I drove it for 2 weeks. It was a brand new vehicle, which I am totally against, but it was a good deal. And they had sprayed it with that new chemical smell, whatever it is, like fiberglass. I don't know what it is. Anyway, we all started having severe allergic reactions to this stuff. We couldn't breathe. My kids were having lung problem. It was terrible. And I drove that car back to the lot within 2 weeks, and I said, you can take this car back. I'm not taking it. You're trying to kill me. You're trying to kill my family, and you're trying to poison us all. So they took it back. They took it back.
There's very good lemon laws in the US about that.
Yeah, they took it back, and they were like, well, At first they said, "Oh, you can't just bring the," and I said, "Well, I am, and here's the keys." Oh, well, your credit. I said, I don't care about my credit. I care about being poisoned.
Hmm. Right. Okay. That's a wrap then. Thank you.
They swapped it out. They did swap it out and gave me a car that had been sitting on their showroom for 2 years. And there was no new car smell whatsoever. Whatever stuff they spray in these cars to make it smell new, it's so poisonous. And so yeah, we still have that car now. That one. But yeah, but this guy, he bought this car from this person that had so many problems with it that they were trying to get rid of it as well. I shouldn't laugh, but I wonder if the original seller knows that that was his vehicle that he sold that set the whole car park on fire. Oh, that's funny. All right, we'll stop this one here.